He's the tall, cool 40 of malt liquor. It's your favorite morning host show host before coffee. It's Adam Josh. Good morning, everybody. We're listening to Afro Man. And I've never listened to this song before, but it's about marijuana and malt liquor, clearly. Well, here we are. Let's turn this Afro Man guy down. Welcome to the Morning Banana Show. We're at number 40. My name is Adam Josh, and I have two anti-gravity defying bananas. Thanks for the comment from Brian Hool on Twitter. He pointed out that something that's worth talking about is that as bananas grow, gravity, the force of gravity, if there was such a thing, would be pulling them down. But instead, we have this familiar shape that pulls them towards the sun. So bananas are actually anti-gravity devices. These are flat earth anti-gravity bananas. They defy gravity by going towards the sun, much like a plant would go up towards the sun. Geotropism, geotropic. Is that the word? Here we are. Let's skim the headlines. Top of the we're at day 15. It's the half a month thing, I've decided. Day 15 of the chest, nose, nasal, lung thing. And I feel the best today that I've felt since, day one. So I would say it's the half a month thing. We grew up with the 24-hour flu, and it's morphed into, thanks to antibiotics and chemtrails, it's morphed into the half a month thing. Top of the list over at Drudge is, it's on. Bernie versus Donald Trump. And I'll tell you right now that I'm not willing to go and die on the hill of supporting Zionism in the state of Israel, but Donald Trump is, and Bernie Sanders is not. So it would be pretty comical to watch an anti-Israeli state, Palestinian let me correct myself. Both of them are pro-Zionist and pro-Israeli. Donald Trump is very, very flagrantly pro-Israeli. Bernie Sanders, on the other hand, basically disregards Palestine. Sorry, I haven't had a coffee this morning. As I'm saying it, I'm like, wait a minute, Adam, that's not right. But Bernie Sanders is very anti-Palestine. I've never been to Jordan, Syria. I've never been to Palestine. I've never been to Israel. So I'm commenting on these things from afar, and I wish that I wasn't. But yeah, so I've seen a few interviews where Bernie Sanders is basically saying that Palestine as a people don't have a right to exist. They don't have a right to a state, and Israel shouldn't recognize them at all, and yada yada yada. It's an ongoing conflict. So what I should have said is you have two Zionists battling it out. But the ironic part about Bernie Sanders is that, you know, he's supposedly on the left of Trump at least. I know many of you watching this, you know, will be like nearly throwing your bongs across the room right now. Bernie's not leftist, he's a centrist, he's a this, he's a that, he's a left of center. But anyway, he's a socialist. That's top of the list over at Drudge. Clearly, I am not on my A game today, but you're gonna have to just deal with it. And I apologize. Let's move on. I've laid out in my last video ways that Donald Trump could get reelected. I'm not saying that I'm a huge Donald Trump supporter. I'm half American and I didn't vote. So if I could vote, I would have probably voted for Zoltan Istvan in the 2016 election. I'm just in shock that Bernie Sanders and what's his name, Joe Biden, think they have a chance against running, unless they're purely running for political points or being told to run because of the presidential running economy. It is an economy. Imagine if you ran for president every year. That's an economy, right? You're making money, you're getting donations. It is an economy. It's like taking donations and running a 501c3 business every year. So Bernie Sanders, his taxes were released, and people are surprised at how stingy he is. But something I would like to point out: Bernie Sanders is two-faced. You know, I can't believe that people would actually vote for him again after what he did through the 2016 election. Like, did he concede his votes and give them to Hillary? Did he get tricked by Hillary? Did the Democrat Party say, look, this isn't happening, so you're going to give us all your votes, and we want you to endorse us to your supporters? Is that what happened? It was so shady what happened in the 2016 election, and it was like the whole Bernie Sanders crowd got burned, and then he's endorsing Hillary Clinton just for the sake of let's keep Donald Trump out of office. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is like this angel sent from the Lord himself. But there's a way that Donald Trump could become president again or keep the presidency. I laid it out in banana number 39. What else we got? Let's skim some other news. People still talking about Nipsey Hussle. Big memorial outside of the Marathon store. That's crazy. Soulja Boy. Home burglarized during jail stint. And people bragged on IG about it. Soulja Boy, last I checked, is a total wreck. Saw some undercover videos of him snorting blow with hookers. I mean, that's the gangsta life, yo. I mean, that's last I checked. Maybe he's different now. That was a couple years ago. Coachella, you guys missed Coachella? I didn't go to Coachella. And somehow, Tiger Woods is back in the news again. You know, it's not wrong it's not criminal to, cheat on your wife and sleep with a bajillion women. Now that he's got kids, he's, probably realizing, oh crap, I was not the greatest dad ever. the UK has a porn ban set for this summer. Porn ban to come into effect in July. Anyone who looks at pornographic websites will have to prove prove they're 18. The government has announced this. So the UK is going to make you prove that you're 18 to access porn. I am not a pornography consumer, so and I'm not in the UK, but I'm in a vassal state of the UK and Canada, so I'm assuming that it will come here as well. But I personally don't care, but I don't think that people, like, if you're into watching porn, if you're into watching porn and you're a young guy, say you're going through your puberty, and you're looking at porn, like all of us did, but we had magazines when we were younger, to have to prove that you were 18 and go on some government list somewhere, it's kind of a bummer, right? Over porn. What a Year in Space did to Scott Kelly, an unprecedented and illuminating study monitoring the identical twins. It's like a prerequisite, I think, to work for NASA, that you have to have an identical twin, because we're gonna need you in 5 different places at once to fake this thing. So, but they're saying that effects on one or the other. It's a lot of baloney. NASA is releasing images. You see this image of Snoop Dogg puffing on a joint, and they zoom out, and it's a black hole. They're releasing this stuff, and the funny thing about this black hole image is that it was released 2 years ago. So, in like 2017, they released the same image of a black hole, and it goes to further illustrate my point about artist renderings. Why is everything an artist rendering? I've got some pears here today. Pears. An organic pear. I'm going to eat this later. But yeah, about the artist rendering thing. If you have all these all these cameras in space, take a picture, right? But instead, they give you artist renderings, and they can't do a 24/7 full day rotation of the space pear. We supposedly live on an oblate spheroid. Last I checked, it was pear shaped. Now Neil deGrasse Tyson on his Twitter account is saying it's a ball. So is it a ball or is it a pear? Because nobody in mainstream science can make up their mind, and so we're at the mercy of the delusions of the architects of reality, and that is annoying to people like me, and they know it. So it's like gaslighting. They just keep on keeping on with their nonsense. And there's nothing we can do about it because we don't run the education system. So until we protest the education system and protest the curriculum as flat earthers, or at least demand representation, what can we expect? Imagine the position that I'm in as a dad. I have 2 kids, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, turning 6 pretty soon. Pardon me. The position I'm in as a dad is I have to... Okay, so you and I both know that Santa isn't real, right? Now, I decided to not tell my kids lies. So if I know something is a lie and not true, I'm not going to tell it to my kids. Now, my kids are old enough that they're seeing their classmates believing in Santa. This is one small example. And they're, my 8-year-old is saying, well, Dad, there's only one other kid in class that doesn't believe in Santa. The rest do. When are they going to catch up? When are they going to not believe in Santa? And I tell my 8-year-old, it's not your job to go around making sure that everybody agrees with you, and I wouldn't want you to be the one to spoil Santa for everybody. Plus, I would have to deal with the parents at that point. On the other hand, we're also vegans, so there's this whole other problem that we talk about with health and sciences, or health sciences, Meat is good for you, yes or no? This is a real problem that we're dealing with. So, as a parent, I've had to have these conversations with my 8-year-old and 5-year-old that Okay, guys, well, you're in a school system that is paid for by our taxes, and the curriculum is supplied by district school boards that are in turn funded by our taxes. So this is a government mandated curriculum. There's an Ontario curriculum that you're expected to be you're expected to master by a certain point, and even if we homeschooled you, this is what we would have to deal with. So there's certain tests and certain points that you're supposed to be at your age and next year and next year. So if you wind up having tests, for instance, that say like every year blank brings us presents, and they're looking for the answer Santa brings us presents, and you write in Mommy and Daddy, the teacher may very well flunk you on that. They may say that that's a wrong answer. And you know that you're right. And Dad knows that you're right, and Mom knows that you're right. But the teachers aren't looking for that answer. They're looking for what they've been teaching you. What they've been teaching you is Santa brings you presents. This is an example. Or if they ask you, list the order of the planets, or list how many times bigger the sun is than the moon, and you write in the Earth is flat. I mean, you're going to fail that test. And I'm having to have these conversations with my son and my kids, both of them, and I'm having to say, like, guys, these are called moral dilemmas of what you're going to have to deal with. Now, I can't tell you what the right answer is and what hill you're going to want to go to battle on, but the reason that we send you to school is to learn, but we would prefer that you not learn about certain topics. So this is a real problem for us. So we want the kids to go to school and learn, but why are they teaching 5-year-olds about dinosaurs and globe Earth? Like, what the? I'm not asking the teachers to teach them that, and I'm not asking the government of Canada to teach my kids that. So it's a dilemma, and this is what I'm saying. I don't control the government mandated education system in this country, and I've seen enough of it through my technician years that I know it's across the board. This is a curriculum that's across the board. Dinosaurs, ball Earth, teach you where all the stars are, teach you about satellites, teach you about modern astronomy, modern mainstream quote-unquote science. And in between all that, we're going to teach you skewed history and skewed social studies. I have my kids coming home saying that they're being taught that the Native Americans who are here, the Aboriginals and the early colonists from Britain and Spain, they all just got along. They just made agreements about this land and that land. What am I supposed to do with that as a father? They're putting me in a position where I have to teach the kids, oh no, they're not, this was a genocide and these horrible plagues happened, horrible murders and horrible plagues and horrible intentional diseases were spread to the Native Americans. And I married, in a previous life, I married an Aboriginal. And so I know a lot of this stuff firsthand from tribes that were telling me, and I've seen how Aboriginal tribes live. So it's something that is close to my heart and something that I do feel passionately about. And so now I'm just supposed to be like, well, everybody just agreed on everything, so it was just perfectly fine. They just sat down over Thanksgiving dinner and killed the turkey and everything was fine. Is that this is the position that I'm being put in right now as a dad. So what I'm saying is, like Civilian X says, it's all for the kiddies. It's all for the kiddies. McDonald's ads, all for the kiddies. Santa Claus for the kids. Easter for the kids. Why do all these things that I mentioned target children? Everybody knows hook 'em while they're young. And this is the predatory mindset. The predatory mindset. Why are they teaching 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds about things that the 5-year-old and 8-year-old critical mind hasn't developed yet to be able to question? If you went into a room of adults and said, okay, You're finally, here you are in grade 12, and we're going to start talking to you about space. The pushback would be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? The sun is the same size. The sun is 400 times bigger than the moon. What are you talking about? We can see they're the same size. So you'd have teenagers being like, no, this is ridiculous. All I see is a flat horizon. You can't tell me that Earth is curved. You would get stuff like that. But instead, they teach it to children who can't fight back, who don't have the mental capacity, who don't have the all the mental resources formed. And that irritates me. Doesn't it irritate you? All this stuff is marketed at children. So we know that Santa's a lie, but they also market that at children. We know that McDonald's is not health food. Watch Super Size Me if you doubt me. It's not health food, but it's marketed to children. Halloween, Easter, all these things, these mainstream events that we talk about are all marketed to children. Marketed to a defenseless demographic that doesn't have the capability to reason. This is the predatory mindset of preying on the weak. And this is why I hate all this stuff. It's cowardly to prey on weak. It's cowardly to go up to a sleeping lion and double tap it in the head. That's what cowards do. It's not like, come on, fight me face to face. Engage me face to face. And if you can't, and look, obviously they can't, and the reason that they prey on the weak is because, with all these things I've mentioned, is because when you're standing on a foundation of lies, you know that you can't move. You know that you can't go anywhere. You're sinking. So you have to, you know. They're forced to do this because it's a fabrication. They're forced to do this because it's a lie. If they were standing on a rock solid foundation of truth, then they wouldn't be afraid. They would be, okay, let's go. Let's talk about it. I mean, the sky is blue. You want to debate it? Okay, sure. But at the end of the day, you can see that the sky is blue. We know that this is the truth. Okay? We're on ground. You know, some things are just self-evident or axiomatic. And things that are axiomatic or self-evident, you don't have to constantly reinforce. But with the ball Earth, you know, McDonald's commercials as an example, Santa Claus, it's like every year. And with ball Earth, it's like every other day. Come into class, ball Earth, everything's a ball. Globe here, globe there. Reinforce it with the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, they died on ball Earth. Asteroids come from outer space. Because asteroids are from outer space because of ball Earth. It's all self-reinforcing. And this is what they're left to do to children. Children. I mean, really. Our education system, our brainwashing system is targeting children. And it bugs me. Doesn't that bug you? It bugs me. So I'm left to have these conversations with my children. That's life. Architects, hereafter. I'm going to have another coffee, and I have a rush check appointment coming. You guys have been great. Thank you for listening to me rant. You watch me get caffeinated here on the Morning Banana. Follow me on Twitter at AdamJosh.com. My website is AdamJosh.com. Take care. Have a great day.